Hey, what's going on, guys? Here we have the out-of-box review for the high-grade build divers Ogre GN-X. As always, a big thank you to USA Gundam Store for supplying me with this kit to share with you guys. Do check out the link to their site down below and shop there. Use my coupon code and have fun with all that. Let's have fun taking a look at this kit here. So this is basically a mashup of elements. Well, it's mostly a Jinx, Accelerate Jinx 4, and then some new parts, but there's also some Age 1 Titus kind of parts in there, basically the effect parts, but kind of like elements of the Age 1 Titus, let's just say it like that. But anyway, it's styled after a Japanese demon, and yeah, it's got some pretty cool, interesting gimmicks built into this. Pretty minimal in terms of like handheld kind of weapons or accessories. It doesn't have any guns at all. It's all just physical stuff. So if you're the kind of person that likes kids with guns, multiple guns, big guns, you're not going to find any of that here, unfortunately. But there's some pretty cool stuff. I really like the weapons and the different things you get with this kit. The kit being based off of the HG Jinx as like the original base kit here, which is kind of making up the all kind of joint parts, which are kind of like the most important parts for articulation. Yeah, that's where this kit is going to suffer the most, I think, because those are the most dated, the most difficult parts to work with if you're wanting something that's going to be nicely posable. But we'll take a look at all of that here over the course of the review. Let's get into it. So on to the accessories. On the kit, we have just two holding hands there, and then we do have a third hand, which is just an open hand. It's pretty nice. All of the Jinx kits, all the HG Jinx kits come with this open hand. It's pretty cool. And then we've got a whole mess of these little effect parts which will plug into the shoulders. You've got 3 on the shoulders and 4 around the hands. So those just plug in there a la the Age 1 Titus. So we'll see those in action here in a bit. You just got a bunch of those. But the main weapon here is the GN Ogre Sword. I like this quite a bit. Very cool weapon with this big, nice clear blade. It's in the hard plastic too, not like soft polycap material, so just be careful with that you don't chip or break that. And you got 2 of these, so these are just of course handheld, and you can also connect these to make the GN Ogre twin sword like that, and then you can have that just big huge double sword. I'm usually not a big fan of double-ended swords like that, so I'm just going to use these like two-handed separately. But you can also plug these onto the back skirt. So you just plug one onto the one side there, and you want to plug the other one onto the other side, but they're not going to line up, or because they're not going to fit on there very well because they're right at the same level. So you get a couple of these little connector pieces. You'll just plug this onto here first, just so that's more out of the way. Then you can plug the second one onto here, just so the two of them aren't at the same level, like clashing into each other. One's a little bit raised, so that you can fit both of them there on the back skirts like so, and they're just meant to look like that, just kind of crossed over. Pretty cool. But let's get into talking about some of the stickers and articulation, seam lines, and all that fun stuff for the kit. So, of course, we've got some metallic purple stickers for underneath the clear part there in the head, which is going to be kind of hard to see if I can catch the light. But then there's, of course, a sticker there for the eyes as well. A sticker here up underneath the GN drive there in the center, or GN condenser. Around here on the back, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of those little gray stickers which go around the back. Same as the GN-X4 and the Accelerate GN-X. Got a couple of stickers there on like the side skirt, that bit there on the waist that will cover up a massive seam line going right through the center of that waist part there, unfortunately, as well as stickers here for the sides of the hand. And then our other stickers here for the kit are for these little spikes on the side, and as you can see, they're kind of pointed, very pointed because of the sticker, but that point is covering an area where there's no plastic actually inside of there, the very end of that point, so it's going to be looking a little bit odd. Anyway, the stickers just wrap around these little spikes here. It's just molded in the same kind of dark purple color, but to make the spikes in the pink color, you're going to wrap stickers around there, 1, 2, 3, 4 around those on the sides of the arm. They kind of work. They're kind of okay, but that's just unfortunate that those weren't able to be engineered as separate parts. So getting into the articulation, the head will go back to there, not too bad. You can get that looking up pretty well, and those forward pointing spikes on there just look really cool. I like that. And then down kind of to there, so pretty well. And then this part on the front of the face also has a little gimmick built in, that it has a hitotsume mode where you just pull this part off the front there, and then you just move that down to a lower connection point, and that's supposed to be like in the anime, it's supposed to lower down over the eyes, covering the eyes, and then that's like a kind of like Trans Am sort of lock-on mode where it's kind of like a berserk sort of hyper mode kind of thing, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, that it now is able to like focus super hard on defeating its enemy because he's using his third eye there, which looks really weird. It's hard not to look at that and just look at it as a big, huge eyeball on its head. But yeah, it's kind of goofy. Anyway, before moving on, I will also point out there's a little seam line down the front of the chin. The red parts there for the left side and right side of the face have a seam line right down the center of that. Moving on to the waist section, we have no articulation in terms of a stomach crunch or bending backwards side to side. The only thing here is just rotation, and that's it. Shoulder movement is also a little bit limited on this kit. You can move it up really to only about there. That's as far as you can get the arm up on this kit, and that's pretty pitiful. You can also move it forward and back a little bit here. That's a little bit better, and you can see this kind of this part here for the side of the chest is just attached via a small ball joint there, so it's kind of cool how that moves along there with the shoulder like that. But ultimately the shoulder is pretty useless for this kit. Then here for the arm we have just rotation there at the top and a single joint giving you just about 90 degrees there at the elbow, and then the wrist on a ball joint. The front skirts here, left and right of our big black mech boner there in the center, will move up and down individually on their own. The side skirts also move up and down a little bit, and the back skirt is just fixed. I will mention though while we're here, the shape of this new part here for the back skirt, pretty cool. And aside from the shoulders, the other most problematic part of this being based off of the original HG GN-X kit is that it doesn't really have much spread here at the legs as well. The hips can only go out to there because the hips are just on a ball and socket joint up inside there. So you're not going to be able to spread the legs out very wide to get anything too dynamic in terms of the posing options, though. You can't rotate there at the top, and then when we bend the knee, bringing that as far forward as we can, bend the knee, you do get some nice separation here with these parts, how that part there on the back of the leg will kind of move back, and you have some nice color separation with the little bits of gray poking out there inside the vents. This part here on the front of the leg will also move up and down a little bit, and the ankle movement here side to side is actually pretty good, so you can actually get that to a pretty wide stance. The problem is the hips don't allow for that, so the ankles actually work better than the hips in this case. Forward and back, here you can see plenty forward, plenty back, looking all pretty nice there as well. So the overall ankles actually work pretty well. Up underneath the feet, some nice detail there, no hollow gaps, no hollow spaces, so that's all pretty nice as well. So as you can see, the kit does have some built-in flaws with the seam lines, some points of poor articulation, and some stickers there. It is an HG, so that just does come with the territory, but with this being based off of a pretty older, pretty flawed HG in the HG GN-X, those are unfortunately still going to be pretty big issues for this kit. I wouldn't say like deal-breaking issues. I wouldn't say like I can't recommend this kit because of those issues. It's nothing really that I would consider too bad. I think for me the biggest problem is just like the articulation really, which of course can be modified, but that's kind of the hardest thing to modify. Like stickers, when you're painting a kit, you can easily mask those, not really too bad. And seam lines, that just kind of, you just get used to that. But trying to fix articulation is definitely the hardest point. And it also just sucks that a mobile suit that's meant to be a close combat mobile suit with just the swords, just like physical things, no guns or anything like that. It has like the needle straights, the GN needle straights there on the hands, and the GN beam shoulder tackle there on the shoulders. It's meant to be like a fighting mobile suit, and the inability to get some really cool fighting poses out of this is going to be a hindrance, I think, if you're wanting to do some cool fighting poses with the kit. Okay, but enough about the negatives. The last little thing that I'll just complain about personally is just the colors. I mentioned in the unboxing video that I just don't really particularly like the colors of this mobile suit. It really reminds me a lot of the Exia Dark Matter, so if you like that particular mobile suit and you like the colors on that, then you'll probably like this as well, I'd imagine. But for me personally, I didn't really like the colors of the Exia Dark Matter and don't really like it so much on this particular mobile suit either. So when it comes time for me to paint this, I think I'll probably have a hard time though coming up with a different color scheme for it, just because of the very unique design of the mobile suit. I don't think it really lends itself well to just any random color scheme. I think you definitely have to go pretty creative with your colors for this kit. Just for me personally, don't really care for these colors, though I will say it does look nice. I think as its theme, it's just a theme that is not personally very appealing to me. So in conclusion, guys, it's got pros and cons, some cool weapons and gimmicks and things, some negative points of articulation and stickers, seam lines, all like that. So it's kind of like right down the middle. Overall, I think it's a really unique kit, that's for sure. If you're looking for something a little bit more unique, something very stylistic, it's definitely got that. It is meant to be a custom build, but it looks like something that someone would like custom build, definitely. It doesn't look like something that exactly you would normally see in like a regular, like I wouldn't expect this to come out in like Gundam 00 as just a regular kind of enemy mobile suit or something like that. Although maybe, I don't know, we saw some pretty weird designs in that series. But overall, I think it's a pretty cool kit. It's 2,000 yen, maybe a little bit high just for its having the negative points that it does have. it is something to keep in mind. If you don't really mind those so much, or you like a bit of a challenge when you're working on your kits, then you may not worry so much about that. But overall, I'd say check it out if you like what you see. If you think that it looks pretty cool, you'll enjoy it. Thank you so much as always for watching, guys. Do leave any other further questions and comments that you have there down below as well. I've yet to see this in action in the anime, so that could actually change my mind a lot as to how much I like the overall design features, like the Japanese demon kind of design features and the color scheme. I may end up liking that a whole lot more after seeing it in action in the series, possibly, but whenever I get around to actually watching that, I'll let you guys know. Anyway, that's it for the review, guys. Hopefully that's been helpful, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Hey! Thanks for watching, guys. Remember, if you want to check the kit out for yourself, you can head over to USA Gundam Store. Use that coupon code ZakuAurelius10. Save yourself 10%. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. Bye-bye.